and reliable ride fast? Introducing Supercab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds, safe, fast and affordable. Visit www.supercab.com.ng or download the Supercab app today. Supercab, your ride, your way. Are you stuck in?
You are watching News Hour on Some TV, the pulse of the nation and the station where clarity lights the way and journalism make an impact. Stay connected. Join the conversation on Facebook at Some TV and stream us live on YouTube at Some TV Live. Now, buckle up, here are the news top stories shaking the headlines. Passengers scamper as Abuja-Kaduna train draws. FAN announces wheelchair support for passengers with disabilities. Others, gunmen kills 2 police officers, injures 1 in Australia. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu strengthens diplomatic and economic ties in Brazil. PDP confirms Umar Damagum as substantive national chairman. 3 tribal lawmakers defeat to PDP, shifting state legislature balance. Japan inaugurates first osmotic power plant in Fukuoka. I am Hafizat Salih Jafar with the news info. A passenger train traveling from Abuja to Kaduna drilled on Tuesday morning, leaving several carriages overturned and triggering panic among those on board. Punch Online gathered the incident occurred along the popular corridor shortly after the train departed Abuja around 11 a.m. en route to Kaduna. The incident has caused passengers fleeing for safety, with many describing the scene as chaotic and frightening. An eyewitness stated that the derailment happened without warning, triggering confusion as passengers rose out of the drill cabins. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria has introduced enhanced wheelchair assistance and special support service for passengers with disabilities. The elderly and others requiring mobility aids at airports across the country. The authorities said the initiative was designed to ensure dignity, safety, and comfort for all categories of travelers. Announcing the developments on Monday in a statement on X, formerly Twitter, France Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Obalije Ora, noted that wheelchair service will now be available from check-in through boarding and on arrival. Wheelchair service are provided from check-in through boarding and on arrival. 2 Australian police officers have been shot and killed and a 3rd wounded during an active incident on Tuesday in a rural area of Victoria State. Police and local media said police gave no details of casualties, but multiple outlets, including public broadcaster ABC, said the confrontation had left 2 police dead, 1 wounded, and the shooter still on the run. The violent encounter took place in Pureponka, which lies at the foot of a mountain in northeast Victoria. Police and media said this is still an active incident and we will provide more information when it's operationally safe to do so. We ask people to avoid the areas, Victoria's police service said in a statement. The Age newspaper said police were at the property to execute a warrant for historical sex abuse allegation without giving further details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu arrived in Brazil on Monday to strengthen diplomatic and economic ties with the country. Meeting with Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, Tinubu emphasized renewing the historic relationship and expressed readiness to expand cooperation in agriculture, energy, trade, and culture. He was received at Brasilia Air Base by senior Brazilian officer and Nigerian Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu. The visit includes bilateral talks, the signing of memoranda of understanding, and an official ceremony at Planalto Palace, followed by a meeting with the leader of Brazil's National Congress, signaling a commitment to the deepening collaboration between the two nations. In domestic politics, the People's Democratic Party has confirmed Umar Damagum as its substantive national chairman. The decision was made during the party's 102 National Executive Committee meeting on Monday, elevating Damagum from acting chairman ahead of the National Elective Convention, scheduled for November 15 and 16 in Ibadan, Oyo State. PDP's National Legal Advisor, Kamaluddin Ajibade, administered the oath of office. Damagum has led the party in an acting capacity for over a year, and his confirmation is seen as a step towards consolidating leadership and preparing the party for its forthcoming national convention. Further details are expected to follow. Adding to political shifts, 3 lawmakers of the Taraba State House of Assembly have defected to the PDP, marking a major shake-up in the state legislature. The de facto Honorable Umar Adamu of the New Nigerian People Party, NNPP, representing Jalingo 1 constituency. Taraba State Zakari Sunusi of the NNPP, representing Ibi constituency, and Honorable Anna Shaibu of the All Progressive Grand Alliance APGA, representing Karim 2nd constituency. Their decision comes at a critical moment for the PDP, especially after the party lost the Karim 1 constituency to the APC in a recent by-election with the entry of the 3 lawmakers. PDP has further consolidated its dominance in the state, a move political analysts says could redefine the balance of power ahead of the 2027 general election. Party leaders have welcomed the development as a return to the fold that will fortify PDP's legislative agenda. Reaction from opposition parties, including the NNPP, APGA, and APC, are still awaited. Meanwhile, residents of Rivers State remain divided as the 6-month suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy Ngozi Odu, and members of the State House of Assembly draws a close. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had suspended democratic institution in March following the rift between Fubara and Minister Nyesom Wike, appointing Vice Admiral Ibok Iti Ibars as sole administrator. Many projects initiated by Fubara, including major road works and school rehabilitation, stalled during the emergency rule, while some stakeholders expect his return to revive stalled development. Others doubt his capacity, saying the political crisis has weakened his influence and slowed governance. Similarly, Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia has congratulated Alfred Ebaga on his election as the new Speaker of the State House of Assembly. Ebaga represented Makurdi North, was unanimously elected on Sunday following the resignation of former Speaker Ondoma Dajo in a statement by his chief press secretary, Taso Kula. Alia praised the swift election process, highlighting lawmakers' commitments to democratic principles. He expressed confidence that Mbaga's leadership will advance legislation benefiting the state and urge collaboration between the Assembly, Executive, and Judiciary. The governor also thanked Dajo for his 2 years of service and pledged continued support for the legislature. Turning to governance and administration, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umo Eno has carried out a minor cabinet reshuffle to enhance governance and advance the Arise agenda. Announced by Secretary to the State Government, Prince Inobung Uwa, the reshuffle resigns Captain Inobunga Efong to the Minister of Trade and Investment, while Dr. Ubong Inyan takes over as Commissioner for Lands and Town Planning. The changes effective immediately aim to improve service delivery and accelerate the implementation of key policies under the state development blueprint. The governors described the move as part of ongoing effort to strengthen the state executive council and ensure effective administration. In related security developments, the Chief of Defense Staff, Gen. Christopher Musa, called on African militaries to strengthen joint cyber defense, counter-terrorism, and intelligence sharing to address evolving borderless security threats. Speaking at the inaugural African Chief of Defense Staff Summit in Abuja, he highlighted terrorism, transnational crime, piracy, climate-induced conflicts, and cyber warfare as growing challenges. Musa stressed that no nation can face these threats alone and urged operational collaboration and the development of an African defense industry base. He reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to peacekeeping and regional cooperation. Representing the Minister of Defense, Bello Matawalle praised Musa and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for advising Africa's defense diplomacy and military preparedness. However, reports indicate that Burkina Faso and Mali skipped a continental military meeting in Nigeria on Monday, highlighting tensions with West African neighbors along with Niger, which remain under military rule. The two countries withdrawn from ECOWAS in January after forming the Alliance of Sahel States to counter persistent jihadist threat. Niger attended, represented by defense-attached Colonel Major Salman Koye. The Abuja talks gathered senior African military officials to discuss collective strategies and homegrown security solutions. Nigerian Chief of Defense Staff Christopher Musa stressed that true security is not achieved in isolation. Cross-border cooperation remains limited despite recent efforts as the Sahel nations face ongoing insurgencies. Meanwhile, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Bashir Ojulari, has linked crude oil theft across Africa to specialized international and continental syndicates, exploiting security gaps. Speaking on Monday at the opening of the African Chief of Defense Staff Conference in Abuja, Ojulari said oil theft is a sophisticated cross-border crime, not a localized issue. He highlighted that pipeline vandalism and crude theft in the Niger Delta provide security efforts, emphasizing the strategic role of security in energy. Ojulari noted that collaboration within the sector has improved operating environments for the continent's largest oil company. We are stepping into a brief commercial break. Stay with us. The most captivating stories are just moments away. Glad to have you still with us.
Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing Supercab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds. Safe, fast and affordable. Visit www.supercab.com.ng or download the Supercab app today. Supercab, your ride, your way. Are you stuck in
Wife of the Cross River State Governor, Inwa Otu, has successfully cleared 11 months of unpaid stipends owed to 1,204 women sweepers of the urban development authorities across the central and northern senatorial districts. The initiative, which was a demonstration of a show of support and recognition for their dedication to keeping the streets of Cross River State clean and green, also included the distribution of 170 points of sale machines, empowering these women further in their livelihoods. In her address during celebratory events held separately in Ugeb, Ikon, Oguja, and Obudu, which was concluded on Monday, the First Lady remarked, "For 11 long months, you labored without receiving the reward of your sweat. Many endured hardship, yet you did not give up. By the grace of God and under the compassionate leadership of my husband, His Excellency Senator Prince Basi Edith Otun, your tears are being turned into laughter and your sacrifice are finally being rewarded." Nigeria's national airline, Air Peace, is set to begin direct flights from Lagos to Sao Paulo following an agreement reached during President Bola Tinubu's state visit to Brazil, according to a statement on Tuesday by Special Advisor to Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga. The deal was announced by Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula during a joint conference. Onanuga said the direct flight is one of the several bilateral agreements signed in Brasilia after a 2-hour expanded meeting between Tinubu and Lula. Onanuga quoted Lula saying, "Increasing the direct connection between Nigeria and Brazil is another essential step to strengthen ties between our societies." In a related development, health experts have urged the Nigerian government to adopt sustainable financing strategies to scale up maternal and child health interventions, warning that the country risks stagnation without urgent reforms and coordinated actions. The call was made on Monday during a webinar organized by Development Governance International Council (DGI) Council with the theme "Financing Maternal and Child Death Crashing Intervention: Achieving Scale, Scope and Sustainability for Impact." The session explored innovative funding mechanisms to strengthen the government's maternal mortality reduction in innovation and initiative. Dr. Gafar Alawode, Chief Executive Officer of DGI Consult, said Nigeria's maternal and child health intervention over the past 2 decades have been fragmented and solid, addressing part of the problem rather than the work. That bring us to the close of this edition of News Hour on Some TV. Follow us on Facebook at Some TV and subscribe on YouTube at Some TV Live for breaking news, in-depth reports, and expert analysis. I am Hafizat Saleh Jafar. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and keep watching Some TV.
Are you stuck in Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing Super Cab.